GTC, stand up. We in the building. All right, let's get right to the business, man. Do a little recap of Monday night. I would say Saints game went exactly as I thought it would. I knew the Saints would win the game, which is what I told you guys. I thought the Saints would win. Carolina wouldn't have enough offense or wide receivers. Yeah, it wasn't looking good. He doesn't have enough help. Bryce Young just don't have help. So it ain't really it ain't popping. It ain't popping. If you ain't got no help, it's over in the NFL because it's a team sport. So you got to have help. I told you that defense would probably get after Bryce Young, which they did. They got after him. The Saints defense is real. They got a good defense. They definitely got a good, strong defense. On the offensive side, number 22, that receiver for the Saints, he had an unparalleled performance. He was getting off. Some strange reason, he just kept running wide open in that secondary, which was crazy to me. But they couldn't cover him, and then that's what it was. It sucks, but that's what it was. I didn't think that they would have any. I didn't think that they was gonna meet any resistance from that team. Okay, I just didn't. Derek Carr had a decent game, but he didn't do great. I mean, he wasn't a world beater and then wasn't an unparalleled performance. He was 21 of 36, 228 yards, no touchdowns, one interception. Bryce Young, for a rookie, he didn't really do too bad to be under duress the whole game. He was 22 of 23, 153, one tutty, and a pass rating of 87.1. So not too bad. The running backs didn't do anything in that game that really make you go, wow, okay? Olave had a decent game. He was 6 for 11, 86 yards, but that was it. He didn't really do too much either. Like I said, the spread was 3.5, and the over/under was 39. I didn't think it would meet that. It did meet that. That game really wasn't like something special to write home about, but hey. We cover the sports. We cover the news. All right. Let's go next to that Cleveland game. I told you the Steelers was going to get them. All right. Neither one of these quarterbacks did anything to write home about Deshaun Watson. As usual, like I told y'all, while they were going to lose, they don't have any wide receivers. They don't have any weapons around Deshaun Watson. They expect him to be Superman. Dun, 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 Superman. They expect him to be Superman with nothing. But nothing. Okay? He ain't got nothing. He needs some help. Get him some wide receivers over there. Get him somebody to help him out. The only help he had, prayers up to Nick Chubb. He's saying he's got a torn MCL and ligament damage. Crazy. Shouts out to Nick Chubb, man. We praying for you. Hope you get better, brother. Jerome Ford, the running back for Cleveland Brown, he did really good to come in after that situation with Chud. He went 16 carries, 106 yards, and he averaged 6.6 yards a carry. So, hey, he got down through there. He did what he was supposed to do. Again, the receivers didn't do too much. Amari Cooper went 7 for 10, 90 yards, no touchdowns. George Pickens, 4 of 10, 127. He averaged 31.8 yards a catch. And he had one tutty. He looked good when he was able to get George Pickens the ball, okay, and not just throw some low in the dirt pass because he was just throwing them hard, fast, and in the dirt. I didn't understand. Like, where's your touch at? Like, you're a quarterback. You got to have a little touch. It's not all about firing it in there, okay? Sometimes you do need to fire it in there to get through those tight little windows. I get it. But when the receiver's wide open, you don't got to fire the ball at him, okay? It's like, what are we doing here? But again, Pittsburgh came out with the win. I told you guys that I thought that Pittsburgh would get that win. That over/under was Cleveland minus 2.5 and over/under 39. They got to the destination. They got it over at the end of the game. And like I told y'all, Pittsburgh Steelers was going to win that game, and Pittsburgh won the game. And I told you why. And you saw it. You saw it. You saw it. You saw it. You saw that Watson was throwing to all these unnamed players. Some of it was his fault, and then some of it was their fault. They didn't use that triangle. They didn't use that triangle. Catch it. Use the triangle. Catch it. All right. And they, for some strange reason, they didn't want to use that triangle. They didn't want to catch. They did not want to catch. You know what I'm saying? It was bad. It was bad. But I told y'all what was going to happen. I said they was going to load up to try to stop the run. They couldn't stop the run. Let's just be honest. Even when they loaded up, they did not stop the run. Nick Chubb was having a field day. He was probably going for 150 on them before he got hurt. Okay? Easily. And I believe if Chubb wouldn't have got hurt, the way that the game plan was rolling out there last night, guys, I believe that Cleveland would have won. I really do. I believe Cleveland would have won. If Chubb don't get hurt, Cleveland wins that game. All right. Because he was getting too many. He was averaging 5 and 6 yards a carry himself almost every time he touched the ball. Even when they thought they was in the backfield hitting him, he breaking the tackles. He gone. You know what I'm saying? Underlay. He was out of there. That's what happened. As far as the Steelers sideline, the Steelers side of it, the defense, they was after him. They was after Deshaun Watson. He was under duress. And I told y'all they had offensive linemen out in Cleveland. That counts. Not having wide receivers in the NFL, that counts. You got to be able, it's a team sport. You got to be able to do things together as a team, okay? The offense didn't work. The defense did, okay? When Chubb left, the offense didn't work. The defense did. Same thing over in Pittsburgh. The defense was working. The offense was not, okay? It wasn't popping. All right, it just is what it is. But that defense. They got after that boy. Deshaun Watson. And when they did, hey, you see what happened. End of the game, see exactly what happened. Strip, sack, fumble. He picks that bad boy up, runs it into the end zone. You know what I'm saying? They hit him with that touchdown signal. Oh, it's good. You dig what I'm saying? It's over. Game over. They wasn't protecting him. And he didn't have nobody to throw the ball to. He wouldn't have held the ball so long if he would have had somebody to throw the ball to. All he got is Amari Cooper. Okay? And when that first read, if Amari Cooper ain't open, it's pretty much you're in trouble at that point because they was getting after him. That defense stood up, showed out at home. Pittsburgh, salute. You did what you were supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to discredit the Browns defense because the Browns defense is popping. I'm telling y'all right now. The Browns defense is popping for real. It is real out there, y'all. It's real in the field. I can definitely see that the Cleveland Browns defense is good. I don't know what they're gonna do on the offensive side of the ball. Yeah, it's not looking too good. In other news and notes, though, did y'all see that deal that they gave Patty Mahomes? 210 guaranteed over the next 4 years, largest contract in NFL history. Okay, but what baffles me, what's a mind scratcher, is you gave 210 to Patrick Mahomes over the next 4 years, but you didn't want to pay your best defensive tackle, Chris Jones, who showed you the Chris Jones effect the first game out versus Jacksonville. The very first game out versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. What happened? He comes out there, he rushes up the middle, makes Trevor Lawrence step up into the outside. Who hits him? Karlaftis. All right, why did he move to the outside? Because Chris Jones was pressuring him up the middle. Come on, y'all. What is going on here in Kansas City? Like, what's happening, y'all? Chiefs Nations, we need to speak up. We need to say something. I understand Patty is the meal ticket, but also Chris Jones is the meal ticket on the defense. We need to, come on, guys. Jeez, I don't get it. Like, you hurry up and break the bread, break the bank to pay Patty, but you didn't want to pay your best defensive player. And he showed you what he worth. He's showing you. Okay, his first game back, he helped. He got a sack. He helped pressure the quarterback to get more sacks. Okay, the whole team looked different when you got Chris Jones on it. The whole front line looks totally different when you got Chris Jones on that front line, man. And it's evident. It's evident. Okay, it's evident that it's Chris Jones. All right, it's evident. So it's like you basically told Chris Jones, you gave him the bird. You gave Chris Jones the bird. You gave Chris Jones the bird. That's what you did. What's happening? Because you should have, if you had 210 million to give Patty over the next 4 years guaranteed, not saying that he ain't deserving or he ain't worth it, because he worth every penny of it. But if you got that kind of money to give to him, but you can't take care of your next best player on the team, and you know he's needed. You saw what happened. Y'all saw what happened. We all saw the same thing, right? Chris Jones lit it up. You know what I mean? They give him a 1-year deal, $25 million, guaranteed, plus the incentives will take him up to almost 35, 40 if he completes all the incentives, right? That's good. That's gravy. For 1 year, that's nice. But you didn't do that same stipulation with Pat. You didn't tell him, oh, well, if you hit this, you hit that, you hit this, you hit that. Here's 210. Okay? Now, I understand Pat deserves it. I'm not saying that he don't. Okay? But I am saying is the head scratcher, Kelsey took a deal and a pay cut. Mahomes took a deal and a pay cut. So you could sign Chris Jones to a long-term deal. And we didn't. It don't make sense. So everybody took a pay cut to get Chris Jones in the building. And Chris Jones is in the building for the dirt, for 1 year. What's going to happen next year? Because the market is going to dictate that a defensive end of his caliber gets paid $30 million. So you should have went ahead and gave him the $30 million for the 3 years, because now what you're going to do, franchise tag him, is still $30 million for 1 year. So that was a bonehead play by the Chiefs in the front office, okay? That was a bonehead play. That was hey, Brett, that wasn't a good move, Brett. That was bonehead move, Brett. Why? Again, because even if you franchise him, you still paying him $30 million for 1 year next year. That's what the market dictates. So how smart was this? To do this 1 year deal, and then next year you got to give him $30 million anyway, no matter what, even if you franchise him. So what are we going to do, KC? What are we going to do? Because the GM just screwed us. Because we're going to have to give him the $30 million. Either we give him $30 million, either we give him the $30 million next year, or he walks in free agency for free. When you already knew next year he was going to be in the $30 million. You can't tell me you didn't know that. That's your job to know that he's going to give them the $30 million next year. Because that's what the designation is going to be when you franchise tag him. So if you already know that, why don't you just go ahead and give him the $30 million for the 3 years, get him in locked in for the 3 years, and be done with it? But that would have made too much sense. Everybody trying to outsmart each other, and it didn't make sense. Make it make sense. It don't make no sense, Brett. That was dumb. Bonehead. Okay? That's what that was. Bonehead play. You know what I'm saying? That was a bonehead play. The next thing, like I said, Mahomes' deal was 210. That was crazy. He's the highest paid quarterback. There you go. Okay. Everybody wants to talk about Mahomes, his contract, and how it went down, and this and that, and all these quarterbacks that passed him. They was gonna have to take care of Mahomes no matter what. Now I get that they moving all the money around so they can re-sign players. I get that. I understand that. But again, it was a bonehead play not to give Chris Jones the 3 years, $30 million. Okay, it was a bonehead move not to give him 3 years, $30 million, because next year when you franchise tag him, you got to pay him $30 million for 1 year. You could have had it for 3 years and you blew it. You dropped the ball. Okay, that was a ball dropper. That was a head scratcher. What the hell's what's happening? All right. So again, guys, that's some of the news and notes, around the league and what's going on here in KC. Man, Chiefs Nation, stand up, salute. GTC, stand up, salute. Like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that notification button so you can stay aware. Holla at your boy, GTC.